Welcome back and thanks for watching. Here is what we are tying today. This is just basically a crapper and flash baitfish jig. It's fairly easy, pretty straightforward, and you can really easily change the size and the shape. You can get a little bit longer, and you can get quite a bit bigger if you want, and a little bit smaller. So it's a really good use of your materials. You can use any jig head you like. I like using these swim bait ones from Z-Man. I like the shank. They put the hook in a good position relative to the tail, so I think you get good hookup rates with this. For the tail, we're going to be using crapper. I'm just going to tidy up these ends a little bit, and we're going to be reverse tying in all the crapper today. This, I think, just helps secure it a little bit better. And it builds up a little bit of bulk so it doesn't pencil down quite as much when it gets wet. So just stroke all those fibers back, take your time, get them all done. But if you miss a few, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So let's really crank down, get that crapper secured. You can wrap back up over this material bump. You really don't see this in the end, so I don't really see the point at this step. So next we're going to be coming in with some Polar Chenille. You can use any color you want. I kind of like using the black on these a little bit. It makes really good, almost like striation marks on it. Sometimes you can pull the hank of this Polar Chenille apart and you just want to start over. So let's give nice touching turns to about right there. You can add more crapper to this or less. I like just doing 3 big clumps. I think you get more movement out of the materials that way. So next you're going to come in with another piece of crapper, maybe about 25% more than you use for the tail, and we're going to start building a taper into this jig. So we want this material to reach to about right there. So cut it just a little bit long, because remember we're going to be reverse tying this in. And just do a few loose wraps and work that around the shank. The jig head does get in the way here when you're bringing these materials back, so just take your time and you'll get it all back. So now comes the fun part of this bait. We're going to be tying in a lot of flash. That's really where we're going to be getting a lot of our color from with this. You just want to make sure everything's all spread around. So the first color we're going to be doing is some flashabou and some speckled flashabou. You can make these as flashy as you would like. I'm coming in with maybe 10 or 15 strands. Maybe not that many, probably 12 strands, 10 or 12 strands. You want to lay this in so it's the same length as that crapper you just put in. Do a couple loose wraps. Don't worry about where anything is yet. And I'll pull this longer part out and cut it the same length. If you save that cutoff, you can use that in smaller baits of this material. If you make it about 1.5 inches shorter, shorter, yeah, you can use up all that flashabou, so you don't have any waste. So get it to where you're happy, get decent coverage. And now we're gonna be coming in with some angel fibers. You can also just stick with flashabou. You can use pretty much any flash here you like. I don't really like using something like a crystal flash. It's a little bit too stiff. But if you wanted to tie this jig using bucktail, I think crystal flash is a great, complements bucktail really well. This, I wouldn't say crapper replaces bucktail at all, but in this instance, I think it kind of does. It's really a similar effect, but crapper is much easier to tie with if you're just getting started. And you always know what you're gonna get with the synthetic. Sometimes with the naturals, you don't really know what you're gonna get. So I like leaving the gold, the green gold olive on this one a little bit longer than the other fibers, because like I said, we're getting our color, a lot of our color from the flash on this one. So come back in with some UV Polar Chenille. You could also tie some red in here to be like a gill slash if you wanted to. I'm just kind of keeping it a little simple today. You can stop right there. This next bunch of craft fur is going to be the same size as the previous one. And we're just going to keep working on that taper. This one's going to be a little bit shorter than the previous one. So just line that up. Cut that away. Sometimes for these shorter clumps of craft fur, you need to grab more than you think because the ends kind of taper quite a bit. So a lot of times I'll grab a little bit more than I need and pull away just with my fingers some of the really long fibers, so you're getting a good use of your material. Same thing, wrap that down. You kind of see the black of the Polar Chenille kind of bleeding through a little bit. It just kind of gives you almost like barring, just a good contrast, I think. So same thing again, flash. I might do just a little bit more flash on this last one. I like tapering the amount that I use, getting more as I get closer to the head. Just kind of work. Everything's kind of about tapering materials, and I think color is another good one you should be doing. This one I don't tie this bunch in any longer. I like to keep this one just a little bit shorter than the previous ones. It kind of gets all lost together if you do. I'm not uber concerned with the placement of this flash as long as I'm getting pretty decent coverage over everything. I think that's good. So now we're gonna come in with another piece. Another piece is Flashaboo. And just spread these materials evenly around the shank. Wrap back up onto that bump just to get that Flashaboo locked into place. That looks pretty good. Now we're coming with a piece of schallapen. You want a pretty big piece of schallapen. I want this extended pretty far back if we can. And give yourself a little bit of thread base here to get over that bump a little bit more smoothly. Doesn't really affect the jig much, it just makes it easier to tie. Stroke those fibers back, and we're gonna wrap this. Use this entire one as much as we need all the way up to the jig head. You can throw some eyes on this jig if you want. I don't personally. I don't enjoy putting eyes on, and I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes, so I'm leaving them. I leave them off this one. Using like fake jungle cock eyes on this one looks really good. And if you're just doing it to look good, you might as well make it really look good. And jungle cock really classes it up. But the fake stuff is great. Senyo's got a really good product for that. So for the final piece of the collar, I'm just using Guinea. I really like Guinea. It looks good. It's got nice markings on it, and I probably put it on things when I don't need to, but that's the fun. So just lock that in. Get all your materials really locked in place. Now lip finish and put glue on and you're all set. Like I said, this is a great alternative if you want to use bucktail. There's a lot of different colors you can use. Making this all white with a glow flashaboo for walleye and lake trout and other fish is really also a lot of fun. You can articulate this or make this a joint bait if you want. It's a great way to get started tying hair jigs without spending a lot of money and giving yourself a lot of different options. So there it is. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.